Alright, well, welcome back. Today we are going to start tackling some of the electrical stuff. So we're going to start in the back here with the battery. And of course, you probably know that we got ourselves a nice little deadline that we're trying to hit. So we need to get rolling on here to make sure we achieve that pretty comfortably. So we're going to start off by laying out some of the things back here and pretty much going at it until we get where we need to. So stick around and see how this goes. Alright, well, hopefully you can see what we got going on in here. Kind of at some weird angles, but we've got our battery thrown in here. And then we're just trying to lay out where we're going to put all of our fuses and things like that. So I figure we need to mount it pretty close to the battery so we can come straight off from the terminal to over there. Then we come from this end over to our power switch. And if you're just stopping in on that, the whole concept of why I'm doing it after the fuse is just in case that thing grounds out and tries to destroy itself, this thing will blow before it melts the whole car down. So that's the concept behind that. Then we'll go off of this and take it straight up front for the front section, and we'll have another bar, another line that comes off, probably 6 gauge or something, to this block, which then will feed the fuse box that we're probably just going to mount right back here or something. That way we'll have all of this rear stuff here and it'll be pretty well set. So what I'm kind of thinking is I got this piece of stainless from one of my stacks of stainless that's been laying around. And if we were to find like some sort of block or something to set it on, we can then set that guy there, bolt that guy there. We can drill a hole through here to mount our switch, so it can be there. That way then we can have a bar on the outside of the car that can turn it on and off. And then probably that guy right there. Then we can run all the lines off, loop it in there, and then all the lines coming out going where they belong. So that's going to be the concept. I think this should work pretty well, so I'm going to work on getting this thing drilled to put the switch in and drilling the holes to mount these things to the piece of metal, and then probably trying to figure out something to mount it to itself. So I guess I'll go figure that out here real quick. Alright, so I pretty much got everything all bolted in there. Unfortunately, I did rivet in the old fuse box here before I terminated anything. So worst case scenario, I'll just have to drill out the rivets and redo it. Otherwise, I'm hoping I can terminate them blind. But right here we got our guy mounted, or almost mounted. Pretty much we're going to come in through here, zap it good with a weld. And hopefully we won't burn the rest of that sound deadening stuff. But hey, it is what it is. thing on fire. Like I might be able to wiggle a little bit, but I am not going to worry about that. If it causes any trouble, I can just shove like a plastic spacer underneath this thing or something. So, that's pretty much it for this first section. But I think what we're going to do is clean off a little spot. That spot cleaned off there. And we can just zap this guy in. Alright, pretty sure that's not going anywhere. Throw that guy on there. See, that one goes that way, that one there, this one will go there. This guy over here. I think we can probably bend this on the brake or something and get it. So I'll go straight right angle. Let's go give that a try. See if that even works. There we go. That looks like something. Alright, so hopefully you should be able to see, we go from the battery terminal over to this guy, goes through the fuse, this guy, to there, then this goes to the front, this is a little bit smaller gauge that goes to this distribution panel, but then all of this goes to that guy. So, that should be good enough that we can start running some wire. We got our big boy cable out here, and I need to find my tape measure, because then we can measure from end of lug to end of lug, and we know how big of a copper piece we need, and then we just come back that 1/2 inch cut there, then we can splice and crimp. Alright, this should be the first cable. Anyway, we got a little bit of play still in this, so nothing will be pulling hard on it. That's pretty nice. So now, I guess we need to make up some battery cables. And this time I'll actually show you what I'm doing to make these things. So, alright, I'm going to do something like this. I want it a little bit longer just in case I have a different battery than what I have here. That way I can make it match. Because you never know when you might need a new battery and can't find what you want. So, we're going to get extra long cables so we can reach no matter what we have. Alright, so now that I've got this marked, I'm just going to cut it. Now there's some big cable cutters that you can use, but Of course, I don't have something like that, so I'm just using the simple cutoff wheel, very similar to doing the stainless steel hoses. All right, hit that. Now I'm just going to clean up the edge a little bit with a set of tin snips. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we got our two ends, and we are going to cut back just enough coating to bring in the edge of the terminal right there. So I'm just going to grab a razor blade and cut around this. So hopefully that should get us where we want. And so with this thick welding wire, they've got this piece of cardboard paper or something that helps it so we don't slice right through the cable itself, and we just pretty much slide that guy on, and we're probably going to want to align it so it curves the same way it's kind of curving here. See if we can get rid of this paper here. So something like that. Yep. Get all the wires in there. All right, now that we got all of our wires there, let's grab this other one. We're going to want to bring it about there. Now there are tools that are designed to cut this coating, but the ones I kept finding were way too expensive. So just take your time with the razor blade. Don't get too crazy with it, and should be able to get some good performance out of it. All right. Okay. That one didn't go as smooth as it should have, but that guy is on there. So, this is pretty much how our cable's going to look like. Now, you can just beat the crap out of the end. That's kind of what I did on this cable here when I redid the wire on there. I just put it on there and then beat the crap out of it. But there are better ways to do that. And that is with a nice little special tool. Now they make some really expensive ones, but these are not the really expensive ones. This is just a relatively cheap, I want to say it's in the $20 range, but it will definitely get the job done. And now that cable's not going anywhere. We'll come down here and hit this guy as well. And this one, since it's big enough, we can double crimp. I'm guessing if we had a more expensive tool, it wouldn't get these weird dimple creases in there, but I do not believe that's going anywhere. Now, essentially, to finish this off, we've got some shrink wrap. Usually you'd go and hit it with like a heat gun, but my heat gun is broken, so we got torch instead. All right, and that looks pretty decent. So then, all that we'll do with this guy just stick it on there. And there we go. Now just gotta do the black one and we'll be set. All right, so the black one's done. And although I use the same cable, I just put the black shrink wrap and it's got the black part on there. So hopefully no one's that dumb. I suppose before it's like I think the battery's dead, but I should probably check. Yeah, that guy's dead. All right. So I don't have to worry about accidentally grounding something out. That's main power. Now, all that we have left to do is run a smaller gauge guy for this one. Something like that, I think. Go there. To about there. All right, so for now, this is probably going to be it. Everything's kind of looking good. There's a big guard for the fuse. But the issue with it is sure all of our wires are straight. And it clips on like that. We'll probably get some sort of like zip tie or something to tie up and over it. Okay. I'm then gonna declare this first phase done. We've got ourselves all wired up, and this way, just in case we got a battery terminal that the positive is in the front, we can still reach that. All right. So, I believe I'm going to stop it here. I still plan on pulling a wire from this guy into the box into maybe something like a 20 amp fuse, run a 12 gauge wire all the way on over. So I think we'll run a 12 gauge thing from trying to think how from here into the box, out of the box, into bottom bolt, out of top bolt, and up for the ignition. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to separate the main power from the rest of it. Still trying to think that one over. Yeah, that should still work. Because then it'll disconnect there. Okay. I'm just trying to get my head around if you have the alternator running, sometimes you can backfeed and keep the ignition on, especially when you're running with an ECU. So I want our ignition to have this separate kill. So that should completely isolate it and we should be good. All right. So that's going to be our ignition on. Everything else is going to then feed from there. 20 amp should be plenty. Probably could even do 15 because all that's going to do is power all the switches, which then will power a relay. So we don't have to worry too much about any of that stuff. So yeah, that's probably going to be for next time because I'm running out of time. And this was a pretty decent undertaking for the day. I'm liking it. All right, so thanks for tuning in. We're getting on our way to power. And once we have power, all that we need is fuel, power, fuel, and away we go. So, thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we will see you again sometime later.